Today I had my human bio EST, which was actually pretty simple if I'm not gonna lie, and that's because I studied pretty well. I only studied for an hour and a half, but that's because I understood all the content beforehand, so it was a breeze, and I think I'm gonna get a really good mark. I know for sure I passed, but let's hope I get a really good mark. And I also did my math EST this week. Let's not talk about that. Anyway, so next week I have English, history, science, health to do, and then I'll be done with ESTs finally. So this weekend I'm just gonna go around studying to the library at home, and I'm gonna show you guys some study tips and give you study motivation, and just come along with me while I study this whole weekend and the whole of next week. Tonight I have to do some English practice because my English EST is literally next week, and then I also have to do some history because there's so much content that I have to learn. So I'm definitely going to the library this weekend to do some studying, and I'll do a little segment where I give you guys some study tips and some study methods to help you guys study better. I'm not a professional, so I don't know if they're the best, but I've done some research, so they'll definitely help you guys. Hi everyone, for this video I'll be giving you guys 3 methods on how to improve your grades and get better at studying. Mind you, I'm not a professional, so this is just some information that I've gathered over the years with studying, and there's also a lot of scientifically proven study methods on really credible sources on Google, and also there's a ton of YouTube videos and people who talk about the exact same methods, so I definitely recommend you check them out to get to know these methods a lot deeper. Personally, I think that the number one thing that you should do if you want to improve your study routine is to make a study schedule and organize and plan your study routine. So usually what I do is I make a study schedule where at the top I have all 7 days of the week, and then on the side I have all the classes that I have. So then usually if I want to study on a Tuesday, then I'll put down on a Monday, I'll put down for a specific class. Say if it's English, I'll put down Tuesday, study complete revision booklet, and then on Tuesday I'll look at it and I'll see that it's already been prepared for me, so then I'll just get straight into it. And I think this will set the mindset that you have to study. And I know sometimes we just look at it and we're like, yeah, I'll get back to it, but if you put down specifically what you're going to study, it will really motivate you to actually go and study. Instead of just say study for math test, put down complete chapter 1, 2 and 3 on Monday, complete this, that, so that you know exactly that on Monday you're going to go straight into completing chapter 1, 2 and 3. It already sets that mindset that you're going to do it. I think the second study method is pretty obvious, but is summarizing. People really overlook the importance of summarizing what you're learning so that you understand it. I think the most important thing that you have to do before a test or an exam is understand what you're actually learning, because most of the time we get caught up in memorizing the names and the process and that, but we have to actually understand what we're memorizing, because in the test, how are you going to recall what the answer is if you don't actually understand what it can't actually describe? Most of the time the test doesn't even say what is this, they actually want you to describe and explain it. So I think it's really crucial that we go back and summarize and see how much we know. And when I mean summarize, I mean actually blurt out all the information that you know on every single topic. So for example, with human biology, if you're doing the reproductive system, you have to break down all the concepts and every single part in it. In the test, they won't ask you what is the reproductive system. They would ask you a specific component of the reproductive system. For example, hormones. You need to know what specific organ or part of the body that they're targeting and what the purpose is. So before a test, make sure that you gather all the information and notes that you've been taking onto a piece of paper and actually make a practice test. So instead of writing down mitosis and meiosis, write down what is the purpose of mitosis and meiosis. It makes you recall that information that you've learned and put it down in the paper. This is something that your brain will copy and will recognize during the test, and will be able to recall it when you get a similar question. This last study tip took me from C's to A's. It's super important that we are taking meaningful notes. Don't just rush and take every single thing that the teacher's taking down on the board, or everything that the teacher's saying that you have to write it down in your notebook. No. I think it's really important that you're writing down what you understand, and if you don't understand a specific thing the teacher's saying, write it down on the side so that you can ask them later or during the lesson. I think it's really bad to just write down every single thing the teacher's saying word for word. I think that you need to look at the teacher and pay close attention when they're speaking, because they're actually explaining it while they're going. And when you're writing down, you're not going to recognize that, you're not going to see that. You're just going to see the words and quickly rush and write down everything they're saying. But you're not actually going to pay close attention to the fact that they're explaining it while they're talking. And that's where people miss. They go back to study and they're like, wait, what does this whole paragraph even mean? What did I write down here? I don't even know what I'm writing, because you weren't listening. So I think that you need to take meaningful notes. So to improve your note-taking process, you can make mind maps, flashcards, or flowcharts, and you can also find other really great tips on really important study websites. Those are the only tips I have for today, but if you guys want to know anything else about studying and want to know any more tips, then definitely comment down below and I will make a video on it for sure.